Hello and welcome to another video in my Web API.NET Basics series. As always, go ahead, follow me on GitHub, website, and email. Right then, so in the previous video, we finished the calculator project, most of it, but we are just kind of doing some developer quality of life improvements. Like in the previous video, I showed you how you can reduce duplication, make your code clean and stuff by using a class library project. We did that. So in this one, I want to introduce a concept which will become more relevant as these videos progress. Now, yes, the series is called, Web API.NET Basics, but obviously, even the basic stuff, there are some things I have to cover, and I'm already using them in my capstone project. So it may not sound basic, but it is really the basic. So in this video, I want to show a very simple case of using interfaces. Okay, so let's go get to it. So now what I'm doing is, now this time I'm going to leave the web app as it is. Okay, so I'm going to switch to my web API project and see where I can add some interfaces. So now what I could do is, so let's delete all the breakpoints. Now you will notice, so I'm using the calculator controller, and in all of them I am doing a math operation. So that would be a nice candidate for some interfaces, right? So instead of doing addition like this, I could use a function, but I don't want to use a function directly. I want to use a interface and then implement that interface to do the operations. So let's see how that works. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to right click and I'll create a new folder and I'm going to call this interfaces, right? And here I will create a class and I will call this iMath operations. Okay, and I'm going to add this and I'm say public interface math operations, and here I will say public, and I'm using double everywhere, so that's fine. Public double sum, and here I'm going to say double first number comma double second number. Okay, that's an interface. So now I need the same thing for subtraction, multiplication, and division. So here I'm going to say public, and then here I'm going to say sum. Wait, I've been using the word add, isn't it? So let's say add, and then I'm going to call this sub, and I'm going to call this mul, and then I'm going to call this division. Okay, so now I want to implement this. So I am going to go here and I'm going to add another class, and I'm going to call this math operation 1. Just call it math operations 1, and this class is going to implement the math operations interface. So there you go. So let's go ahead and implement. There it is. Okay, so now I'm going to go to my control. Now before I start making any changes, I'm going to make a copy of this. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to just create a controller called this is API, right? So let's go API controller empty, add, and I'm going to call this one controller, calculate old control. In case you're coming from the previous video and you suddenly see like the code is different, yeah, I'm gonna keep that in the calculate old controller, right? Let's do that, and here I'm going to come back and I will just go ahead and copy the whole thing, and I will just put this yeah, I think this is the one. Okay, there we go. So we'll put that inside. Yikes. Hold on. I think I may have copied too much. You only want to copy what you want to. Yeah, from here. Sorry. Yeah, there you go. Okay, HTTP post, 4 of them. So let's copy this and put this here. So there you go. In case you are, following along with the tutorial and you want to put the stuff. Okay, the old controller has all the things. And we want to get rid of this error, so we want to say and we want to change this as well. Okay, there you go. So the old code is in the old controller in case you want to check it out. I'm just gonna rebuild it. There we go. Okay, all right. So now I'm going to come here, and what I want to do is I want to start using the interface. So I am going to go ahead and say private Okay, and then I'm going to say I math operations, and then I'm going to say math operations, get and set. And here I am going to say math operations is equal to new, and I'll say math operations 1. Okay, so I have the interface here, right? And I have to initialize the interface with an implementation class. So that is happening here. So here what I'll do is, now here I'm doing addition, isn't it? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to comment this, okay? Right, let's comment that. And instead of doing the mathematics myself, I am going to call that function. So I'm going to say math operations dot add, and I'm going to say first number comma second number. Okay, and it's complaining about something. It says first number does not exist in the, oh, that's because I don't have, oh, sorry, yeah. So I'm going to say number DTO dot first number, and then number DTO dot second number. There you go. So what I'm doing is, now you might be thinking, wait a second, this actually appears to be smaller than this line. Of course it is, okay? But here the purpose is not just about typing less. It is about using the feature of interfaces, which allow you to change your implementation on the fly. Now, it may not seem very relevant right now, but as these videos progress, as we learn more and more things and eventually build the capstone project, the entire concept of interfaces becomes very, very relevant. So even though we are actually typing more, we will stick to this for now, right? So let's keep doing this. So I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to just delete this line anymore. Oh, let's make sure it works, isn't it? So let's go ahead, build, rebuild. Let me just make sure. Oh, I haven't written the code yet. So you want to say return first number plus second number, and here you want to say return first number divided by second number, and here you want to say return first number multiplied by second number, and here you want to say return second number minus the first number. Actually, it's first number minus the second number. So let's change that. The AI does help, but sometimes it becomes a little too happy, huh? And then here you want to say response, response, response. Okay, that's good, that's good. Okay, let's change the code then. Let's make sure this one works. So here we go, and I want to make sure the addition works before I make more changes. So I'll go here. There it is, calculator. Yeah, we can ignore the calculator old, so we are using the calculator new. That's what matters. Try it out, execute, and it works just fine. Okay, so we're good then. Let's update the code, the rest of the lines. So okay, next here I'm going to say double result is equal to math operations dot this is subtraction sub, and here I'm going to copy paste this. Actually, you know what, I can actually just copy paste this line and change the spelling. Yeah, I'm just gonna call this one sub. There you go, much better. Okay, this is going to be multiply. Okay, good. And the last one is going to be a division, right, and then be the division. Okay, all right, let's see if this works. So rebuild. Okay, here we go, run. Don't use the old endpoints anymore, use the new one, and we are going to say try it out, execute. Cool, works fine. Subtraction, execute, works fine. Multiply, execute, works fine. Now division, I know that's what I'm a little bit worried about. See if it really works. Execute, yeah, just works just fine. Okay, let's make sure the web app is working also, right? We made some changes. Let's run the web app. Calculate. Okay, 10 and 10. Good, works. Okay, 10 and 20. Cool, works. 10 and 20 multiplication, great. 10 and 20 division, great. Okay, so whatever changes we made, they are working just fine. So there we go. That is what I really want to show in this video. How do you go ahead and use a very simple scenario where you have an interface and then you implement the interface. Now obviously I will have more to speak about interfaces as the classes progress and why they are so useful and how they become useful and stuff like that. So we'll go deep into it, in bits and pieces, as we start building projects. I'll just use interfaces, and as and when the situation calls for it, I will go ahead and explain why I did that, why I used it, and why was it so important, and things like that. And obviously I'll be speaking about stuff like dependency injection and things like that. I don't want to get into that right now, but we will get into it, because you can't build any .NET projects without using dependency injection, and you can't use dependency injection unless you're already using interfaces. So that's why I'm kind of, like I said, I have a game plan. Like a lot of times I'm winging the code. Like, an idea just comes to me and I just wing it. But most of the time I do have a plan and I do know what I'm doing. So there you go. So this is about interfaces and why it becomes important. It becomes relevant later. So that's what this video is all about. And I'll see you in the next one.